Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday night Loving Kindness online meditation here, courtesy of the Dharma Bum Temple. My name is Alex. It is wonderful to be here with you this evening. As always, you know I like doing this. I love doing this, and I hope whoever is listening or whoever will be listening is having a wonderful evening, day, or whatever time of day you're listening. Again, my name is Alex, and we're going to be doing a meditation on loving kindness. We're going to be having a little discussion. I am still preparing for story time, which I'll probably do next week. And so a lot of things happening. There was a story online today saying that the governor is actually going to still end the mandate on June the 15th, the mask mandate. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see if that really happens and see if, we're really going to go back to like an actual physical class at some point then or after. I don't know. I don't know if you saw on the Dharma Bum Temple Facebook page today, but looks like they have devised a way to at least let some people in, but don't know if that's actually going to happen or not. I only saw one post and I don't scroll Facebook all that much, so we'll see what happens. But like I ask at the beginning of every class, if you are new, say hi, say something in the chat box, just say hi, say your name, where you're from, and I'll say hello back to you. If you are not new, say hi, tell me what's going on, and let's kind of get engaged here. I like doing that. I like being engaged with you guys. It's super fun. I'm here alone in my condo, which is where I'm at right now, and it gets lonely. Even for an introvert, it gets lonely. So say hello. So the first folks we have are Brian and Linda. And said, hi, Alex, this is Linda. I'm new. I did watch last week's taped class and was surprised how difficult it can be to give yourself loving kindness. Amen, sister. I know what you mean. It can be difficult for sure. And so that's why we do it in this particular way. I hope you enjoyed it. And like anything, Linda, it just takes practice. It just takes practice, a little time, to train ourselves to be kind to ourselves. It's amazing how difficult that can be sometimes, right? All right. So Jean, hello. Hello, Jean. Hello, Marisa. Greetings. And Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Hi. And Tamara, of course. Hello, Tamara. All right. I remember that I have forgotten what everybody looks like, except Marisa, who I see on Facebook. And Eric, I don't know if Eric's going to be here later on, but I remember what he looks like. It's been so long, right? It's been like March of 2020. So that's, it's going to be, it's 14 months now. And, actually, no, it's like 15. March, April, 15 months now. Yeah. It's a long, long time, and it might be 16 months until we actually get back in person classes. We'll see. I don't know what they're actually going to do. Doesn't matter. Okay, it's been 100 years. Amen. It seems like it, right? The time just keeps on going and going and going. And like I said, the days just keep on rolling by. And I don't know what your life has been like in quarantine. I don't know if you work at home, or if there's something else that you're doing, or what's kind of happening with you. But, I'm super grateful that I get to work at home, but also it makes the days just kind of roll by, and I don't know where they go sometimes, that it's been, 15 months so far. Okay. So, I'm still preparing for story time, and so we'll probably start that next week. And, like I said, we're going to have the Mahaparinirvana Sutra, which is essentially the Buddha's last days. And the Buddha's last days takes place over about we're going to go a year. And a lot of things happen. It's a great story. It's so, there's so much to this story too. It might, even if it were like 3 parts, I might be able to squeeze all it into 3 parts, but I try not to do that just because it gets, not everyone can be here every week. And, it doesn't really matter if they can be here every week, because they could just, we record these things and they could just listen to it. Just kind of like Brian and Linda can listen to a recorded class. Okay. All right. So is there anyone else here? No. Say hi. You can say hi. It's okay. I'd love to hear from you. All right. So, again, this is a class on loving kindness. And hello, Roberto. Wonderful to see you. Hello. Yeah, me too, Lisa. I like, I like telling these stories. It's something that keeps me engaged. And it's something like, for some reason, I just love hearing stories and I like telling stories. They always keep me engaged. And I'm always kind of fascinated by them. So we'll get to do that. It's going to be fun. All right. Whew. Okay. So here we go. We're going to start in just a little bit. But before that, I'm going to kind of give you just a little bit of spiel here. The word that we're talking about here when we talk about loving kindness is this word called metta, metta. And metta has, it comes from the Pali language, which is a language that we think is pretty close to what the historical Buddha spoke. Pretty close, maybe even exactly, who knows? But when there's this ancient word and it gets translated into a modern language like English 2,500 years later, the richness of this word means that it just can't be translated into one thing. It means really a lot of things. So it can mean loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, goodwill. And, it's simply a wish to be happy. And not only a wish for ourselves and others to be happy, but a wish for those people who we're doing this practice for to do the things that cause happiness. And if you've been around here, you know the things that cause happiness. And they are the motto of the Dharma Bum Temple. The motto of the Dharma Bum Temple being, think good thoughts, speak good words, do good deeds. Those things cause happiness, right? Those things cause happiness. Our skillful, well-intentioned thoughts, deeds, and actions. Those are the things that cause happiness. They help us to kind of break the bonds between self and other. They break the bonds of grasping and craving, those grasping and craving being the very thing that causes suffering, and that's what we're trying to remedy. We're trying to find a way out of suffering and cure ourselves of suffering and these positive thoughts, words, and actions. This is a really wonderful step forward in doing that. So that's what we're going to do, right? That's what we're going to do. All right, so let's do this, shall we? Before we start, so let's just get into your seated position. I'm going to get into my seated position here. I'm going to move this back just a little bit. So whether you're sitting on a chair or on a cushion, make sure that if you're in a chair, make sure that your feet are flat on the floor with the legs a few inches apart. Your back is nice and straight. So your back is nice and super duper straight, and your core is engaged somewhat, keeping your back straight, but it's not like overly just like stiffened or anything like that. It can be just kind of loosely engaged, because we do want to keep our back straight as much as possible. Our hands can be anywhere that's comfortable, in your lap or in your legs. That's perfectly fine. And your head is nice and straight, maybe even tucking the chin under just a little, extending the spine. The eyes are closed or open or half closed or anywhere that's comfortable for you. Usually in the West, it's just easier to close your eyes. So I just do that. I just close my eyes and make things a lot easier on myself. And So let's go do this. All right. So this is nice, and let's get comfortable, and let's develop this attitude of no struggle. We don't want to struggle with our seated position. We don't want to struggle with our breath. We don't want to struggle with the instructions that you're going to hear in this loving kindness meditation. You don't want to struggle with anything. We struggle so much during our lives. And this is the one time where we really want to not do that. And so we can give ourselves permission, even if it's just for the next 25, 30 minutes, just give up whatever struggle we're going through right now. You have that permission, and you can pick it up again at the end of the meditation. That's perfectly fine. All right. If you lose focus, or if your thoughts get distracted, you start thinking of things that you start thinking about the future or the past, the memory, or some sort of fantasy or something like that, something that takes you away from this kind of present time loving kindness practice. Just simply say to yourself, thinking, and come back to the breath. Just that notation of thinking will snap the mind back to the present moment where it's the happiest. And you can notice when your mind gets snapped back to the present, and it's almost like, for me, it's like, it's like a relief. Thank you. Yeah, because I didn't need to be thinking about some whatever it is that I'm thinking about, right? Okay. Let's get in our seated position. Hello, Alan. Thank you for joining us. Good to see you again, my friend. All right, let's go do this, guys, huh? So just allow your eyes to close. Again, making sure you have that comfortable and sustainable position so you're not likely to move around too much. And so before we start with this kind of formal practice on loving kindness, we're going to get connected to the breath. So just gently pay attention to the breath. Focusing your breath at the base of the nostrils, feeling the air go in and out as you breathe. So maybe at first, let's just take a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. And at first, not forcing the breath, letting the breath be quite easy and quite natural. And just following it all the way in. And you can follow it all the way into all of the airways in the body, or all those parts of the body that might need some refreshment, some relaxation, some softening. And then following the breath all the way out again, right here at the nostrils, just focusing your attention here if you can. So just for the next few moments before we start our official practice of loving kindness, just rest as gently as you can in the sensations of the breath. Now, to begin our formal practice of loving kindness, we're first going to think of a benefactor. And a benefactor is anyone who has shown us great love and great kindness. Someone is really easy to have these feelings for. And it could be anyone at any time of your life who's meant so much to you, and remember how they've been wonderful and compassionate and kind to you. They can be living, they can be not living, it doesn't matter. And you think of this person in your mind's eye, and all you have to do is radiate loving kindness to them. And however you understand that word radiate. So I like to picture like a beam of loving kindness going from my heart to theirs as I'm smiling at them and they're smiling back at me. Just in so much gratitude of what they have meant to me in my life. And this beam of loving kindness can be maybe pulsating, it could be warm, or it could be cool. That's all up to you. Thinking about also their own wish to be happy. And wouldn't you want them to be happy? Free from pain, healthy. And it helps to smile when you do all of this. At every stage of this practice of loving kindness, always helpful to smile. And so for the next few moments, we'll do this practice of metta, of loving kindness for our benefactor. Now we can shift our focus just slightly from from doing this practice for our benefactor to now imagining our benefactor doing this practice for us. It could be the same benefactor or benefactors or different one. Doesn't matter. However you want to do that is fine. And so you're going to imagine them radiating loving kindness to you. And your only job is to receive all of their loving kindness with as much gratitude as you can. That's it. Just receive. If there's any part of your heart that gets tense or tight, any part of your body that can't just let all of this loving kindness in, that's okay. You can breathe into that part of the body, loosening and softening and letting more of that wonderful loving kindness into your own heart. You deserve all of their loving kindness. You've already have this experience, this heart experience of their loving kindness. And recall that as you smile and maybe put your hand over your heart and you just receive all of it. You don't waste any of their loving kindness. You take all of it gratefully, thankfully. And we'll do this for the next few moments. And now finally, not finally, but uh, probably the most important part of this meditation is now doing this practice for us, having loving kindness for ourselves. We've kind of danced around it a little bit and progressed in a way that's gentle and kind, so that we can now do this practice for ourselves, hopefully more easily. And just call to mind your own wish to be happy, your own wish to be healthy and safe, to be free from harm. And understand the fact that this is so important. This is such an important part of your practice, because if you can't feel that loving kindness for yourself, if you can't experience that for yourself, it's really hard to really effectively do this for others. You want to feel this in your own heart, so that it's so easy then to give this out to others and to project this to others, because you know how it feels like. And again, you can still put your hand over your heart and either repeating phrases of loving kindness or simple ones like, may I be happy. And that's all you ever have to say. May I be happy. Or anything else that has a loving and a kind intention. And just letting as much of that into your own heart as possible. So we'll do this for the next few moments. Loving kindness for yourself, so important. You can do this. And finally, it's a lot of loving kindness. And so we can now explore this limitless quality of the heart. And we can do this practice for all beings in all directions. And you can just radiate loving kindness out as far as you can go, as far as you're comfortable. There is no limit to how far you can go out. Such is the quality of the heart. So you can just try that, or you can just uh, do something else, or that's more comfortable for you. Maybe everybody in your neighborhood, or everybody in San Diego County, or something like that. But don't be afraid to go out even further. May all beings be happy. And we'll do that to end our practice for the next few moments. So just open your eyes when you're ready. And just spend the next moment out in silence as you stretch your arms and you stretch your legs. Keeping that mindfulness of loving kindness about you. And then after about, I would say, a minute, let's do a minute, and then we'll begin. I'm going to go open the door here so I'll get some air in. If you have any comments or questions about anything, whether it be the meditation or Buddhism or in the Dharma Bum Temple or anything like that, this is a really good time just to type something in the chat box and we can talk about it. If you want to let me know just how you're doing in generally, that works too. So all of that stuff is fine. So this is a wonderful time for us to engage with one another. It's kind of almost over, I like to say. So pending any disasters, and 5 weeks from yesterday, things will be good. Because that is the 15th, and that is what the governor said. So we'll see. Okay. And so our first question is from Tamara. Do you happen to know at which point in his life the Buddha is said to have offered instruction on metta? No, not exactly. The thing about the life of the Buddha, which is really interesting, is that all the Dharma is not chronological. There are some things we can glean from it, but it's not chronological. It's ordered by like the length of the sutra. It's ordered by a particular number, like the 3 this and the 4 this and the 5 this and the 6 this. And there's a series of connected discourses that happen at all different times during the life of the Buddha. There is this wonderful book simply called Life of the Buddha. And it is by Bhikkhu Nanamoli. And Bhikkhu Nanamoli, what he did is he kind of went through the Dharma and the Theravada, the Pali Canon, and he tried to put this in some sort of chronological order. Okay. And, there's some things we know because some sutras said, hey, at the very first rains, he was here and this happened. And then the second rains retreat was here and this took place. But a lot of them we just don't know. We can guess. We can kind of guess. But we don't know. We don't know. But it's interesting, though. It's interesting how in this book they put things at certain places during the Buddha's life, because the authors just said, hey, this kind of seems like it goes here or could go here, so we're just going to put it here, and it's just really interesting, that the dharmas are kind of sectioned off that way. And so we're trying to, scholars for a really long time have tried their best just to put something in some sort of order, because for us it's just easier to say, okay, here's this kind of contiguous line of this happened, this happened, this happened, and then it's done, right? But in a tradition with like 84,000 teachings, it's, I don't know, we're kind of guessing, kind of doing our best about that, so yeah. So we don't really know exactly at what point he did that. At least I don't think so. If someone else knows something different, that's fine. Hello, John. John, have you been to my in-person class? If you're still here. I don't remember anybody's last name. Except Eric. Do I know? Yeah, Eric and Marisa, and I think that's it. Yeah. All right, guys, what else is happening with you? Tell me how you're doing. I would love to know. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what this new normal, whatever that even means, turns out to be. Looks like we're actually, like I think I told you last week, my particular job, it looks like we're just going to keep the stay-at-home thing. It's turned out to be really kind of beneficial. So, Jenna, I've moved to Portland, Oregon. I've missed going to in-person meditation with you. So grateful I can see you virtually. Well, hi, Jenna. Wow, yeah, from Portland. That's fantastic. I am so happy you can join us virtually as well. And I hope that when we actually go back to having classes at the temple, that we can continue to still film them for people who want to join virtually. Because, before all this stuff went down for Jeff's classes, Tuesday night and the Saturday morning, they used to do that. Maggie used to do that, just film him and just kind of post everything to the website or to YouTube. So but wonderful to have you here from Portland. I hope Portland is treating you well and you're having a wonderful time there. I have been to Portland. It's really nice, really pretty. A lot of traffic, but very nice. What else is happening with you guys? What's new? What's going on? Are you as anxious as I am to kind of go more places and do more things and be around more people? Because I'm anxious for that. I thought because last Tuesday last week was my 2 weeks after my second COVID shot. So I'm like, yeah, I can go out and I can do all these things and blah, 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 blah. But no, I didn't change my behavior. It was just the same. But I can do it. That's the difference. Okay. All right. We are fully vaccinated now. Good for you. Wonderful. Vaccines are wonderful. This one is especially wonderful. And looking forward to getting out, doing something safe, but really happy to be able to share this time with you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. It's wonderful to share this time with you guys as well. I really like it. I really enjoy it. Roberto, hello, Roberto. First time I'm hearing from you today. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Being fully vaccinated does provide a whole lot of relief. So also, I talk about it a lot because I'm such an advocate and I just can't help it. But if somebody is like truly hesitant about it, you can share that as well. And maybe I can help. So that there's nothing wrong with being hesitant or anything like that. There's a lot of, scary stuff that you can find on social media and the news even, and all this kind of stuff that would make you kind of, pause a little bit and be kind of, hey, what's going on? I don't really understand about all this stuff that's going on. So that's okay too. And I wonder about, one of the things I wonder about is quite literally social skills. It's been so long since I've been around people. I go to the store. I walk around my neighborhood. I say hello to people in my complex. But my interaction with others, or any kind of extended interaction with others, has been nil for the last 15 months. Hey, how you doing? is most of my interaction with others, and that's it. And I wonder, well, can I just sit there and just talk to somebody without feeling anxious about, are you too close? And all those different types of things that I think about. So we'll see what happens. Tamara said, I went to my first party in over a year, but the quiet time was nice too. Being vaxxed is nice. Yes, it is. Thank you. So I'm glad you actually got to go to a party. That's fantastic. Like I remember I have a good friend of mine who I said, okay, I'm fully vaxxed now. Let's hang out. And we haven't hung out yet. So Jean said that her work requires us to return on site September the 7th. That's really interesting. That feels weird to most of us. I bet it would feel weird. Yeah. And it'll be weird having those interactions again. And it'll be interesting to see if you have a cold, like say, because usually most of us, when we have a cold, we just power through and we go to work anyway. And if people are just going to wear a mask, yeah, I'll go to work, but I'm wearing a mask because I have cold and there's germs everywhere and all this kind of stuff. My social, Linda says, my social skills weren't great to begin with. Now I'm really rusty. Amen. I hear that. It will be good. I will admit, once we can do a class, in the temple and I can actually see you, it will be fantastic. I think so. It'll be maybe even a little scary because it's been so long. It's like, I don't know what am I even supposed to say? But I probably that's the thing I look forward to the most. I look forward to seeing you, even if you're not saying anything, and even if all you're doing is listening to me, talk about something. I really will. I really will get a great pleasure out of just seeing some smiling faces who are kind of happy to be at the temple again. So that was nice. And yeah. So anyway, that's it. So again, next week, we're going to start with the story of the Parinibbana Sutta. And it's going to be awesome. I love the story. And it's probably the next story I need to really learn from start to finish without looking at notes. Like the Buddha story, I can do start to finish. I don't need to look at any notes. Angulimala, I can do that. Part of most of Jivaka, I can do that. The Jivaka was the Buddha's doctor, because even the Buddha needs a doctor. But this is one story because it's so long. I think that I can't. I need a lot of notes, and so I will be bringing some notes with me just to kind of remind myself of kind of what the story is. But the story itself is like just super fascinating. It's super fascinating because there's so much that's going on. When you have a 45-year teaching career and have an entirely new spiritual practice / religion / philosophy / whatever you want to call it. And it literally took him the entire year just to kind of wind down, and it was really interesting, the kind of force of will that he had just to stay alive that long because he was so sick. What else is going on with you guys? What's happening? That's okay. I'm actually going to ask Jeff exactly what's going to happen with those pictures that he shared earlier. Yeah, just relieved. Just share the feeling of gratefulness to be vaccinated. And let me just say one thing really quickly, because we're about to end here in just a couple of minutes. And I mentioned it last time as well, is that what's going on in India pains me greatly every single day. to see the literally hundreds of thousands of new cases and probably realistically millions of new cases every single day. The thousands and maybe even tens of thousands of deaths every day. The ones we know about and the ones that we don't know about. If they're saying that that in the US it's probably closer to 900,000 who have died from COVID, then imagine what it's like in a country like India that has like 1.3 billion people in it and whose healthcare infrastructure wasn't good at all. So at any time you're doing loving kindness for yourself or for anybody, if you could please spare a thought for the people of India, spare a thought for their families, and because what's happening there is I wouldn't wish that on anybody ever, and it's terrible. Roberto, just waiting patiently for a few more weeks to pass. I hear you. I hear you. And it's wonderful to be here with you as well, Roberto, and everybody. And so I will be keeping India in my thoughts for a long time because of what's going on there. It's pretty darn brutal. Pretty brutal. So metta for India, for the people of India. Absolutely. Thank you guys. It's been wonderful to be here with you. I like doing this. I like doing this a lot. I love it when you're here. I can't wait to see you again and be in class with you and give you a hug should you be so inclined. If not, that's also okay. But I'm a hugger and I can't wait to do that. So let's join our palms together at our hearts, please. And may the benefits of this practice and this discussion be received by all beings. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful and at ease. May all beings be happy. May all beings be loved and seen for the beautiful, radiant beings that they are, that you are. Thank you for coming again. Thank you so much, guys. We will see you next week. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. And I will see you again next Saturday. All right. I love you all. Bye. Bye, Jenna. Bye, Brian and Linda and Tamara and Jean and Roberta, Lisa, and everybody else. Bye.